A man once sat alone in a hospital hallway at 3 in the morning. His phone was dead. His wife was gone. His job had let him go 2 weeks before. He had every reason to break. But he said later, that hallway was the calmest hour of his whole life. Not his wedding day, not the day he got the promotion he used to brag about. A cold plastic chair, bad lighting, and silence. Something about that night should bother you, because we are taught the opposite. We are taught that peace comes after you win. After the raise, after the relationship works out, after the noise in your life finally stops. But his noise never stopped. He just stopped fighting it. That is strange enough to sit with for a moment. Most people spend their whole lives chasing calm through more money, more control, more approval. And the men who actually find it are usually the ones who lost something first. This is not a story about giving up. It is a story about what was left standing after everything soft got stripped away. Here is the part nobody wants to hear. Your mind is loud right now for a reason. Not because your life is worse than his, because you have never been taught how to run it. You wake up and the first thought is already dread. The messages, the traffic, the person who is disappointed in you before you have even had coffee. That thought sets the temperature for the whole day, and you never chose it. It just showed up and took the wheel. There is an old kind of man who never let that happen. Not soft, not loud, just still. He walked through loss, betrayal, sickness, and command, and came out the other side unshaken. Ancient soldiers followed men like this into battle. Emperors kept his words by their bed. We are going to open his code today. 5 habits, no motivation speeches, no hour of free time required. Just 5 small daily moves that, stacked together, rebuild a mind that cannot be shaken loose by anyone. Before we go further, subscribe now so this channel does not vanish from your feed. Like this video if even one line hits you, and comment the word discipline the second something in here lands close to home. Stay through all 5. The last one is the one most men skip, and it is the one that matters most. One warning. Some of what follows will sound too simple to work. That reaction is exactly why most men never build it. Knowing a thing and living by it every single day are 2 different lives. Habit number 1. Command the first 90 seconds of your morning. Most men lose the day before their feet hit the floor. The mind reaches for the phone, and the phone hands it a list of everything wrong, a message left unanswered, a number in a bank account, a face that hurt them once. Here is the psychology behind it. Your brain is wired to scan for threats first thing, because for most of human history, danger was the only thing worth noticing at dawn. That wiring never updated. It still fires the same way over a text message as it once did over a wolf at the tree line. This is where the old code becomes useful. A soldier and emperor named Marcus Aurelius wrote something down almost every night, alone, by candlelight, never meant for anyone else to read. One line from those pages still holds. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Notice what that is not saying. It is not saying control your boss, control your traffic, control the man who wronged you. It is saying, the only territory you actually own is the one behind your own eyes. Everything else was never yours to command in the first place. So here is the move. Before you touch your phone tomorrow, take 90 seconds. Name one thing that is fully inside your control today. Your effort, your patience, your response to the first hard thing that happens. That is it. That single choice sets the mind's posture before the world gets a vote. Do this daily, and something shifts that nobody else will see. You stop being a man who reacts to his morning, and you become a man who issues the first order of the day, before anyone else can. Habit number 2. Move your body like it is training, not punishment. Here is something uncomfortable. Most men only move when they are angry at their own reflection. That is not discipline. That is self-punishment wearing gym shorts. The old Stoics saw the body differently. They trained it the way a soldier sharpens a blade, not because the blade did anything wrong, but because a dull blade fails you when it matters most. A philosopher named Seneca, who advised one of the most dangerous men in Rome and still kept his own mind clean, wrote that difficulties strengthen the mind, the way labor strengthens the body. He was not talking about muscle, he was talking about the will underneath it. 10 minutes of hard walking does something soft advice never mentions. It gives you proof, in your own body, that you can do a hard thing on purpose. That proof carries into every other part of your day. The email you were avoiding, the conversation you kept postponing. The body remembers discipline and hands it back to the mind. Start small on purpose. 10 minutes, same time, no negotiation with yourself. Not because 10 minutes changes your body, because it trains the one muscle that changes everything else. Your ability to do a hard thing without needing to feel like it first. A man who does this stops waiting to feel ready. He becomes the kind of man who moves first and lets the feeling catch up later, if it ever bothers to show up at all. Habit number 3. Guard the 4 seconds before you react. Let me tell you about a man I will call Daniel. Daniel ran a small crew on a job site. One morning, a supplier called and cancelled an order that was supposed to arrive in an hour. 6 months earlier, that call would have ended with Daniel throwing his phone across the truck and losing the whole morning to rage. This time, he did something different. He put the phone down. He counted 4 seconds of silence before he said a single word. In that silence, something old and simple took over. A teacher named Epictetus, who was born a slave and still became one of the freest men in the ancient world, taught that men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions they hold about things. The cancelled order was not the disaster. Daniel's story about the cancelled order was the disaster. 4 seconds later, Daniel called a backup supplier instead of screaming into a dead phone line. The crew never even knew there had been a problem. That is the whole habit. 4 seconds of silence before your mouth or your fist decides anything. In that gap, you get to choose whether you are a man ruled by the next thing that happens to him, or a man who runs his own reactions like a commander runs a unit under fire. This one costs nothing. It asks for nothing but a pause you already have the power to take. Most men just never take it. Habit number 4. Cut what drains you before it cuts you. Here is a question worth sitting with. How many conversations did you have this week that left you smaller instead of stronger? Most men keep people around out of guilt, not respect. The friend who only calls when he needs something. The relative who mocks your goals and calls it a joke. The version of yourself that shrinks every time you are near them. The old Stoics were not soft about this. They understood something called the ruling faculty of the mind, the part of you that is supposed to be in command of your own peace. Every time you let a draining voice sit too close to that command post, you hand away territory that was never theirs to take. This is not about becoming cold. A disciplined man can still be kind. But kindness without boundaries is not virtue. It is just fear, wearing a nicer name. Here is the move. Pick one relationship this week that costs you more peace than it gives back. You do not need a speech or a dramatic exit. A shorter answer, a little less access, less of your best hours handed to someone who spends them carelessly. Do this consistently, and you stop being a man available to anyone who wants a piece of him. You become a man whose time and attention are earned, not assumed. Habit number 5. Judge your own day before you sleep. This is the one most men skip. By nightfall, the effort of the whole day already feels finished, and the temptation is to just collapse and let the mind drift wherever it wants. Here is what most people never realize. Left alone, the mind does not drift toward peace. It drifts toward whatever went wrong, because unfinished problems are louder in your head than finished ones. Marcus Aurelius closed almost every night the same way, not punishing himself, reviewing himself. What did I do well today? Where did I let a small thing steal my composure? What will I do differently tomorrow? This single habit is called memento mori in its oldest form, a reminder that the day just spent will never come back, and the next one is never promised either. That thought should not scare you. It should sharpen you. Before sleep tonight, ask yourself 3 short questions. Where did I hold my discipline? Where did I lose it? What is one thing I will command better tomorrow? You do not need a journal for this. 1 honest minute in the dark is enough, but do it night after night, and something in you starts to change without announcing itself. You stop drifting through your days and start commanding them, 1 review at a time. 5 habits. No money required. No hour of free time needed. No personality overhaul. Command your first 90 seconds. Train your body like a soldier, not a man in punishment. Hold 4 seconds before you react. Cut what drains your peace before it drains you completely. Judge your own day before you close your eyes. None of this fixes your life overnight. Any man promising instant peace is selling you something. But stack these 5, day after day, and something in you gets harder to shake. Not because life gets easier, because you stop being a man who needs it to. That is the whole difference. A man who commands his mind, and a man who spends 40 years reacting to whatever it throws at him first. So which one are you building starting tomorrow morning? Not someday, tomorrow. Pick one of the 5 and prove it to yourself before you prove it to anyone else. If this gave you something worth carrying, comment the word RISE below and tell me which habit you are starting first. This channel exists to build men who cannot be shaken. I will see you in the next one.